right, it is 1 week into fall and it's time to fertilize. I just got back from the fertilizer plant and I got these buckets of fertilizer. I got to mix some custom mixes up. This is kind of pre-mixed. This is what fell in the back of the truck. And it's about 50-50 urea and potash, which is going to be one of the mixes that I'm mixing together. This I've had for a while, and this I've had for a while. This is potash, and this is potash. They sometimes look like this, and sometimes look like this. It all depends on the manufacturing process. This is MAP, monoammonium phosphate. This will be used on the trees, not in the vineyard. The vineyard already has enough phosphorus. So the mixes I need is urea and potash alone in the vineyard, and urea, potash, and MAP on the trees. I don't have a huge amount of trees to fertilize. I'm just going to do the 12 that I planted last year and some of the bigger ones throughout here. There's like 4 of them back here and a couple back there, and there's a big black oak right up here. Those are the only trees that are going to get fertilized. So I'm probably going to want a bucket or a bucket and a half for those, and the rest is all going in the vineyard. So let's get this stuff mixed up and I'll tell you a little bit more about what I'm doing as I'm doing it. All right, what I want here is 2 full buckets of urea, and 2 full buckets of potash in the vineyard. So I'm going to try to blend this as much as I can. About a half a bucket of potash and a half a bucket of urea. Then I'll mix it up, and then I'll add some more. It's going to rain tomorrow, and then no rain the next day, and then rain again the day after that. And I want to get this down. I want to get this on the ground before that rain. That'll wash the urea into the ground, and it'll be taken up by the plant immediately. Can't use this hand. I got my fingernails missing and it stings a bit. Alright, that's pretty good. Pour this back into the buckets. Now for some urea, potash, and MAP. And the stuff that's filled in the truck. about half of the map. Okay, I have my balanced mix for the trees here. I'm going to leave this here and come back for it. Maybe I'll bring it along. What this is going to do, it's going to use the nitrogen right away. As soon as it rains and washes this urea into the soil, the urea will react with the soil and create nitrogen. It'll give off ammonia and create nitrogen. It'll use that nitrogen right away, but it's not going to use it how it normally uses it to make new leaves and stuff. It'll just store it for the winter. And then the same thing will go with the other two ingredients. The MAP will also supply some longer term nitrogen for over the winter and into the spring. It's actually very important to fertilize your trees, especially when they're young like this. It's very important to fertilize them before winter so they gain enough strength to make it through the winter. All right, I guess we can move this back, get these in, and get out of here. All right, tree number one. I'm going to go roughly a foot outside of the drip circle, and I'm going to broadcast fairly heavily, and then I'm going to work my way on down. Like I said, these plants are going to use the nitrogen right away, but they're not going to use it to make new leaves. They're going to use it to store up and save it for the winter. All right, I got all the trees along the road, and I am up to my big trees. This area I'm just spreading fertilizer kind of in the entire area that's roped off, which should encompass their whole root system. These are a lot bigger trees than the other ones. And they do come like right to here, so a foot past that would encompass this whole thing. I really got to get my trimmer going and get a good trim in before the end of the year. It's not good to leave all this stuff really long for the winter like that. Hopefully I'll have time to do that tomorrow. Today I ran and picked up, well, not only this fertilizer, but I went and picked up the trim for the addition. We're going to be putting the siding on next week, so it was a busy day. I didn't get out until, well, it's probably 4 o'clock now, maybe even 5. All right, that should do this one. And again, this is not to make them grow this year. It's to give them strength to make it through the winter and get a good start next spring. This will help them finish up their growth for the year and go dormant with some extra energy. Okay, that should do it. Now I have a black oak right there. Let me see if I can point this better. Now I have a black oak right there and another one kind of right behind that. I'm gonna get those, and I got some white oaks and stuff behind the house, and then whatever's left I'm gonna toss by the big trees. Tomorrow I'll be coming out here and hacking and squirting all these trees around here. The only trees that are going to be left here is this black oak and that black oak right through there, and then of course Bigfoot back there. I don't know if I'll be able to get this whole mess in here or not, but I at least want to get everything to the west of Bigfoot. You see, you can probably see Bigfoot back there. It's a big old white oak. Most of this stuff is already dead, but these hickories just really hang on forever. So I'm going to hack those again. These two hickories, hickory and aspen, are always the ones that hang on like that. Yeah, and this aspen right here, right next to the black oak, or that's a red oak. All right, let's fertilize that black oak and then move on down. This black oak right here, some of these lower branches are dead because this was just a huge tangle of weed trees. Like I said, I'm going to get in here tomorrow and I'm going to cut all these resprouting trees and I'm going to put Tordon on them, and then I'm going to hack and squirt the ones that aren't dead. But I should prune off some of this dead stuff while I'm at it. It's got a couple smaller branches down here that are alive, but for the most part they're right at this level, about 6 feet or so. All right, we'll give it some energy for the winter and we'll deal with that stuff tomorrow. All right, that should do it. Now we'll get them white oaks right back here. Okay, there's a black oak over that way, but I don't think I'm going to fertilize that. I'm going to concentrate on these whites. Got a white oak here, a white oak there, and a good sized one over there. And then I think I'll just go and toss some fertilizer underneath these big old oaks. There's 4 of them through here, and that should take up the rest of this stuff. These all have grass at the base, which is going to suck up a lot of the nitrogen, so I'm going to have to toss a good amount on each of them. I'm not sure how far this is going to go, but we'll see. All right, here's my next one. It's a nice little tree. Try to make it a little nicer. I will be back here in the spring getting rid of all this broadleaf stuff. At some point though, it'll be allowed to grow and naturalize, except for the invasive stuff. All right, that should do that. Now for the big one over there. All right, this one is, oh, maybe 30, 35 feet tall. It's a real nice tree. All these other trees are coming out. This will be the only tree in this area. Well, I keep forgetting this one. And I don't know if this one's going to stay or not. We're going to see. It's fairly far away from this one. Give it some fertilizer anyways. All right, now for them big trees. I smacked the end of my finger into the side of the bucket and I have no fingernail there. Oh, is that painful? Super, super painful. Yike. All right, I'm gonna toss with my other hand for a while. Okay, that does it for the tree fertilizer. Yeah, this looks really beautiful back here. A little bit later in the year, when we got some free time, Natalie and I are gonna come through here and mark out a trail. We have a rock outcrop right there that we'd like it to go by, but there's a much bigger one right back here. So we'll probably have a trail going across there and then maybe some steps coming down to the other trail down here. We'll see. It's gonna be really nice down here. You could tell the deer have been down here. They've been bedding down right here. Looks like they were bedding down over there as well. Really nice area. All right, we're in the vineyard. I came through here several days ago and I spread 20-10-10 with calcium, and I did that right down the aisles. Today I'm going to hand toss fertilizer in the rows only, and that's urea and potash. The vines go through a lot of potash in the growing year, and when you pick the berries and send them off somewhere, that takes your potash with it. So it really needs the potash put back. And the nitrogen, like I said, the nitrogen will be held within the vine and it'll give the vine strength for the winter. All right, I have a bucket for each row. Let's get going. every bit of the grass is fertilized, and the vines and the trees, which is everything that's going to get fertilized. You can see the leaves are already drawing back some of the nutrients into the vine. So the majority of this is just going to go right into the trunk. It'll never make it to the leaves, which is just fine. Hopefully, if we have a bad winter, we don't get dead cordons because the vine is weak. It had a pretty heavy crop this year, so we took a lot out of the vineyard. And then when the leaves go, they just blow away because the grass is so short. So nothing is getting put back into the vineyard, so we have to do it manually. These vines look fantastic though, other than the chew marks from the Japanese beetles. We had Japanese beetles so bad this year, just all year long. They really chewed up the vines, but as far as I know, they really don't affect the quality of the grapes at all, unless you let them go and they just take all the leaves. This right here looks like a magnesium deficiency, but at this time of the year, it's just the plant taking back stuff from the leaves. But because it's doing it much more, in certain areas, I'm going to have that tested next year. Next year, I'll be doing a petiole sample. I do a petiole sample every other year. There's no point in doing it every year. But we'll take, this is the petiole right here, the stem of the leaf. You take a whole bunch of them from various places throughout the vineyard, and you send them off to the lab, and they come back and tell you how your soil is doing. Basically they tell you what's missing in your vine, but that usually means it's missing in the soil as well. Okay, that's going to wrap up this fall fertilizing video. There's going to be one, maybe two more videos in the vineyard here, and several more with the trees. I got to do a bunch of stuff, basically clearing around them and stuff like that. So if you want to see that stuff, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.